For starters, we've served this community for over 45 years.
And we know that every client is unique. We consider you friends, neighbors, and family.
We prove it in the way we fight tirelessly for your justice.
Let the Icos Law Firm fight for the justice you deserve.
After a long day's
from the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
More than 100 professional anglers take to the water at Clarks Hill Lake. How events like this and others are boosting business in Columbia County.
And our First Alert weather team is tracking severe weather at the end of this week. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hales on your side with what you need to know about that timing. But first, this is what a company promised for a Masters Week concert series at Lake Olmsted Stadium last year, and this is what it looks like right now.
Quite a difference there. Now the City of Augusta and the Economic Development Authority are suing the company behind that project, C4 Live. News 12's Alyssa Lyons joins us live from a stadium that has seen better days.
So, Alyssa, what do we know about this lawsuit that's been filed?
Well, if you recall, just 2 weeks ago, I was told that news was coming about Lake Olmsted Stadium. Well, it's finally here and in the form of that lawsuit that you mentioned. Now, we know that C4 Live was mentioned in the lawsuit. That same company was the one that was going to bring entertainment, fun. But as you can see, they brought anything but that.
just to see how this all transpired, it's really been disappointing.
A year ago, C4 Live was prepping for what was supposed to be XBR Fan Fest. It's safe to say they've lost a few fans since then.
And we heard about the acts that they wanted to bring, and they had a track record for some of their Super Bowl parties that they had done around the country, and so we thought it was going to be a really good partnership.
It sounded like a good deal. Concerts, festivals, pop-up retail. Now the Development Authority and the city is asking for $1 million in damages.
They did some demo work on the inside. They demoed one of the stands. They did some remediation work on the inside as well because of some mildew, but it looks like a lot of the cost that they've spent here has been kind of soft cost.
Now it lies in a state of destruction. A year ago, the project hit a snag. C4 told us at the time the grounds may require significant reinforcement.
They had the original blueprints, including the blueprints for how the baseball field was constructed, including all of the substrates and everything. So, for them to try to say that they didn't know about something, I think is a little misleading.
That snag, now a tear in the form of this lawsuit against them. It claims C4 abandoned the project, refusing to make obligated improvements. What C4 Live promised was that the expectation that you saw out there, when you were here last looking at the stadium?
Obviously not, because we filed suit.
Now I reached out to C4 Live. Their communication team no longer represents them. The managing partner, Michael Perry, presently works for C4 Live, but has now taken on another role at a different company.
Okay, not really encouraging there, but we'll see how that lawsuit shakes out. Alyssa, thank you. With the Masters coming up in a little over a month, here's a look at some events that are scheduled this year. The annual Drive for Show Wrdw concert, that's returning to the Evanstown Center Park April 4th. In North Augusta, the Major Rager will feature the Future Birds and the Stews at the Sharon Jones Amphitheater. That's going to be April 8th. That's Saturday of Masters starting at 7 o'clock. Tickets for both events are available online.
Weather now to give you a live look at the test. Riley, thanks very much for that. Hundreds of people were out on the lake today. Actually, let's get to this story first. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to an arrest in a year-old murder case. Kevin Coatney Jr. shot and killed January 30th, 2022, Deansbridge Road. He and 3 other people were shot trying to leave Club 706 when they were shot in the parking lot there. Coatney's family offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction. Anyone with information can call investigators at the number there on your screen.
2 people are hurt after a plane crash near the Edgefield County Airport in Trenton this afternoon. Sheriff Jody Rowland says the people on board do not have life-threatening injuries, so that's good news. Deputies and medical staff were on the scene around 1:30. A woman living nearby says she heard a big boom and then got a notification there was a roadblock on Girl Scout Road. Everything appears to have been cleared up by about 2:15. Great news to report about the 11-year-old boy hospitalized after a dog attack in Columbia County. Justin Gilstrap's mom says on social media he is back home. It comes after several surgeries and almost 2 full months in the hospital.
From pipes to the deck to a new paint job, the Augusta Boathouse is in some need of some TLC. The question is, who pays for that? Our City Beat reporter Craig Allison joins us now live from our newsroom. And Craig, who's going to do these repairs and who's actually in charge of that property, beautiful property right on the Savannah River?
Well, Richard, we know the city owns the boathouse and that it's currently leased out to the Augusta Rowing Club, but the question of who will pay to clean it up is still up in the air. But everyone from commissioners, Parks and Rec, and Central Services isn't clear on if that means they have to help keep it up. And City Attorney Brown read out the lease, which does state that it's the rowing club's job to keep it up, but that the city can still help out. Central Services then laid out an estimate for building damages to the inner pipework, the decking, pillars, and paint, and that could be a $2.5 to $3 million fix if the city wants to chip in. And regardless, anything is on the table.
In order to get it back, in my opinion, to a state to where it will be what I call a world-class facility, it requires a lot of work. It would be my opinion that, and this is just my opinion, I don't speak for the will of the commission, that we raise that facility and start over with something new and fresh that really gives us an opportunity down in District 1 and down on our river to make our city look well as make the citizens of Augusta proud.
And the commission didn't move on anything, saying they want to cut through the confusion in the next few weeks, laying out who exactly is responsible for the boathouse's maintenance and if they should move forward on potentially $3 million in repairs.
All right, thanks, Craig. Also at committee meetings today, Augusta's Irish American Heritage Society looked into waiving security fees for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. It's a $3,500 ask that would put responsibility on the sheriff's office to supply extra off-duty help, but some say this could open the door for other groups and other parades to also ask to waive security fees down the road. It moves to the commission for full approval. Hundreds of people were out on Clarks Hill Lake today. Gorgeous day for it for the Major League Fishing Tournament at Wildwood Park this week. It's just one of several major events held in Columbia County recently.
News 12's Nick Veland is on the lake right now with how these events are bringing in a lot of business and revenue to Columbia County.
Here at Wildwood Park, it's calm now after day 1 of 3 of Major League Fishing coming to town and bringing in the top 150 anglers from across the country to right here at Clarks Hill Lake. And with events like these in Columbia County, they're looking to do more than just showcase top athletes.
When I decided to move to this location, I knew these tournaments would be a huge impact on my business.
DJ Haddon loves to fish and was the fishing coach at Greenbrier High School for 8 years. When he wanted to own an outdoor store, he knew where to go.
From fishing, that Wildwood is, from here till September is 200 to 300 boats every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It'll be just full of people. And like I said, when Eric mentioned this spot to me, I was like, yeah, I definitely want to be there.
But when tournaments like the Major League Fishing come to Clarks Hill, even more revenue is expected.
I did the math earlier. These guys will probably burn about $80,000 in gas while they're here. Just in gas, and you think of the hotels, the meals.
In Columbia County, this tournament is just one of many. The county says they look to host 40 events every year with sporting events. From collegiate soccer national championships to the disc golf world championship, the county has been able to bring in some major events, which the county says continue to drive growth, which is what DJ has been seeing on his job site too.
Growth heading that way, and of course growth heading down I-20, but yeah, it's been great.
And these events are looking to continue to go a long ways for everyone, even for those who don't attend.
It's a quiet, people don't see it, but it's a huge impact to our economy.
And this event has 2 more days of competition. And for what's next with major events coming to Columbia County, they tell me that they're bidding on other events to come to town with high hopes of just continuing the momentum. In Appling, Nick Veland on your side.
Coming up, highlights from the first annual 12-26 Soccer Cup. See how a team of underdogs came back with a win and some controversy.
Definitely a lot of controversy with that win there yesterday, but we are looking at dry weather to continue tomorrow, most of our Thursday, but a first alert in effect Friday. Have an update on the full forecast just after the break. Time in a couple of days. Looking at that 7-day forecast, remember the first alert in effect Friday, back to drier and slightly cooler conditions rolling into the weekend.
Well, we decided after working hard at News 12 it was a little time for a little fun. So there's a group of us officially dubbed the 1226 Soccer Cup champions of 2023. It's neither of us.
Will Volk has highlights and reaction for what turned out to be a rather controversial game. Take a look.
It's all come down to this. The championship game featuring our station's creative services team and Wrdw's Instigator. Rio's team is unlike any other. He picked up a couple new players who lost with their original team. Gary the goalie and Stanley the striker, both managers at the station. Let's get to the highlights. Rio to Stanley, he lines it up and scores. Later, here's Stanley again, make it 2-0. The Instigators dominate and win the 1226 Cup.
Our chemistry on the field between having the best goalie, me leading the league in goals, having the best soccer player in this tournament, you just can't ask for a better group of guys.
It's a controversial win. Some didn't want players who already lost to get a second chance.
Apparently, two wrongs do make a right. See, these are the people that are saying we could have never won from the very beginning, and we're the ones standing on the podium.
They don't matter.
We're the ones standing here.
Champions. They don't matter.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
All these kind of people, they don't
Show me
matter.
the fine print.
The Instigators say the haters don't affect them, and here's why.
Anything is possible!
Hold up the trophy! Yeah!
And Augusta, Wolf, on your side.
There's water in here.
The team they lost with, by the way, was me. So I am personally offended that they did not give 110% when we had the chance.
First of all,
I did not see any of that athleticism from Stanley when we were playing.
such humble champions. I'll just put it that way. This is how legendary rivals are born,
Yeah.
and deep bitterness that
Yes.
lasts for decades,
Yes.
all in
I-
one place.
No idea why there's tension between management and the building. I mean, with that kind of humility.
Wow.
Hilarious.
Better luck next year,
All
kids.
right. God bless them.
Mhm.
Okay, the Instigators say they will be back next year.
And we will all be watching to see how it goes out there. And in the meantime, there's probably fighting in the newsroom as we speak.
I can almost hear it across the room.
Oh, man. Okay, the West Side Boys, it's real sports now. The West Side Boys basketball team on their home court tonight. It is the Elite Eight, you guys. Next in sports, we're going to hear from one of the seniors who'll be playing it in front of his home fans one final time.
And we're rounding out Black History Month with a special guest at AU, the Army's first black man to earn a West Point varsity letter in football.
Crafters. Over 200 at Walmart and over 150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
Colonel Gary Steele was the Army's first black American to earn a varsity letter in football at West Point. He was one of 30 black students at the academy, paving the way for the next generation.
After graduating, he dedicated 23 years to the Army, and today he spent time at AU speaking to students and ROTC members there. Hallie Turner sat down with Colonel Steele to hear more about the lessons he learned along the way.
In 1966, he put his football cleats, shoulder pads, and helmet on, just like his teammates did, not knowing history would be forever changed.
Time, I didn't put any real significance to it because I was just a member of the team. I worked hard for my first team position. I wanted to keep it, so I was willing to do anything I could.
But, unlike his teammates, his first catch as a football player made history for African Americans all around.
In the past, in the first quarter of the game, I became the first African American to play varsity football at West Point.
He says it's never been about the notoriety of being first. As he reflects on life in Black History Month, he says the message is simple.
Individually, it's very hard to win, but when people come together and work together, there's a lot more solidarity there. There's a lot more power there.
Something Michaela Jones says hit home for her today as she listened to Colonel Steele speak.
Actually, I'm an Army veteran, and so I got to see the diverse side of the Army. So reflecting on his past and how it wasn't as diverse when he came in, it was like an eye-opener of how far America has come in the United States Army.
The point he drives home is better together.
A lot more done. Hands working, doing things. Black History Month is a good thing, but American History Month, for me, is even better.
At the end of the day, Colonel Steele says by traveling to universities across the country, like AU, and sharing his story and the message of what working together instead of alone does is impacting every life. Reporting in Augusta, Hallie Turner on your side.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
Good evening, everyone. Some of our local high school basketball teams are still alive in the hunt for a state title, and it's time for the Elite Eight, and that is familiar territory for Westside. The Patriots are coming off their first state championship in 55 years, and their dreams of protecting their crown and going back-to-back is still very much intact. Westside doesn't have to travel far for tomorrow night's game because they'll be playing on their home court. For the 4 seniors on this year's squad, this will be the last time they have the chance to play in front of their home fans before they graduate, and that's something that this group is looking forward to taking full advantage of.
It just means the world because a lot of teams don't have this opportunity. It started off with 32 teams, now it's 8 left. So 24 teams, they had to go home, and that's very unfortunate, but we're grateful enough to be able to be in the position that we're in, but especially doing it at home. It's just a great feeling.
The Patriots Elite Eight showdown with South Atlanta will be played at Westside High School tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. And while Westside doesn't hit the court until tomorrow, we have 5 of our local Georgia girls basketball teams still playing tonight. Cross Creek, Thompson, Butler, Swainsboro, and Josie are all playing to advance to their respective state semifinals. I'll have the latest on all of our local high school basketball action tonight at 11 o'clock.
Okay, Dan, thanks very much for that. Augusta Regional is getting $3 million to make some improvements around the airport, including a couple of new ways for you to board a flight there. Right now, the airport only has a couple of gates, so the other 4 require passengers to walk outside to board that plane. You know it well. One of the goals for this money is to invest in airports and keep up with the growing demand for air travel.
We're going to use this grant to help expand the terminal, so we're going to add a small amount of terminal space, and what this project does more so is allow the addition of 2 passenger boarding bridges, and we think that will help make our terminal much more efficient.
And we can't get them soon enough. Construction in the terminal set to start this summer. It should wrap up early next year.
Well, for tomorrow, the temps are going to stay warm. The pollen count's going to stay high. Mostly dry tomorrow, but we'll take a look at those rain chances in the 7-day just after the break.
Thanks for watching News 12 on your side.
Come on in to Davis Appliance and Furniture, where you can find the best deals in town. It's tax time, so when that refund comes in, it's the perfect time to get the furniture you've always wanted. For the brands you trust at the lowest prices, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture. The reviews are... Come on in to Davis Appliance and Furniture, where you can find the best deals in town. It's tax time, so when that refund comes in, it's the perfect time to get the appliances you've always wanted. For the brands you trust at the lowest prices,